This is a first impressions night, so we get to look at a brand new RPG. That's what we're going to be going over tonight, this new book called SagaBorn. So this is SagaBorn. Again, it's got a little bit of a glossy cover, so you're going to see a little bit of glare here. That's just going to be part of it. It's a pretty nice book. It's a soft cover. Couldn't find the hardcover book. I want to show you real quick where you can get this. This is their website, or SagaBorn.com. And when I was looking on here, you scroll down a little bit, you can get the SagaBorn PDF absolutely free. I think I bought it cost me $14 with shipping, and I got the PDF for free. But you can actually download this PDF for free. And I put the link in the title. On Drive-Thru RPG, they have the core rule book in print, this edition that I have, and it's $20. So I bought it for $10 and then $4 shipping off of their website. It's now $20 on their website. So I don't know if I just got it on a sale or something like that. I'm not sure. I wanted to show you this too. They actually included a little bookmark too. Kind of cool. SagaBorn. It says a simple D20 role-playing system. Down here, download for free, SagaBorn.com. Back to the book. So the book is basically 8.5 by 11. It is 112 pages. I could not find a hardcover anywhere, so I'm assuming that it wasn't made in hardcover. I typically like the hardcover books a little bit better, but it's a smaller book. It's 112 pages. It's a glossy finish, has almost like a texture to it, and it's kind of pleasant just to hold. It's grippy. It just feels good to hold. But when you're flipping through the book, the first thing I notice is no glossy pages, and that's just awesome to me. Great looking art in here. Some of it's full color. You can tell there's several different artists that worked on this, just because of the wildly different styles in here. But especially these color pictures are just absolutely incredible. I'm just going to flip through just a little bit, just to show you a little bit of the art. Really nice job, especially the color pieces are incredible. On each page, as you can see, they have this kind of, I don't know what you would call this, but it's like a watermark or something like this, where it's printed on this colored paper with this kind of sun on the top, and each page is exactly the same as far as that background is concerned. So it does have that kind of a fantasy feel to it. The font sizes are really nice, large fonts. It looks like it's going to be very easy to read. The words, the groups of words, are all blocked out in these smaller, digestible pieces of information, which I really like. But one thing that kind of worries me seems to be a little bit lack of content as far as the world is concerned. It looks to be more like a reference guide instead of a core rule book. It looks like something like a spell guide or something like that would be. That's just the first impression I get. Hopefully when I get into it, it will kind of make more sense to me. So this is the PDF, and I can kind of share this with you. So when we first open the book, we get a little bit of credits here, some legal information. Then they have their table of contents here, which looked a little skimpy to me. There's just 3 title entries and 10 total sub entries. It's 112 pages, and you only have not even half the book in the table of contents. It seems like they could have broken that down a little bit further to make it easier to find things. Something I did want to share with you, though, and read to you is this introduction, because I thought this was neat. It says, I will never forget when I first found out about pen and paper. I was on my way to New Mexico to hike for 2 weeks in the desert mountains. The guy next to me in the van had a cool hardback book that had 2 guys riding horses, wielding swords. I asked him what it was, and he said, the player's handbook. Want to see it? The next 2 weeks, while making our way over evergreen-covered peaks, I spent each night playing a game that gave me what I always wanted, a virtual playground for my creativity. Since then, most of what I've done has revolved around art, writing, and playing in the realms of fantasy. 10 years after that, I was working as an artist in the industry. 10 more years after that, I was publishing short adventures for Tabletop. But I was always trying to fit my world and my story into someone else's rules. I never intended to make my own system, but after years of struggling to keep up with other systems, I realized that I needed my own. A basic system that allowed for creative playing at the table with minimal of rules to keep everything flowing. I decided this while at Gen Con, stood up from my booth, walked over to Brian Cooksey, who was working in his wife's art booth, and said, we need to make a system. Simple, light, and fun. And Brian said, let's do it. A week and a few beers later, we had an outline, and a couple of years and many, many more beers, we have the SagaBorn role-playing game. The system is meant to be a guideline for players and game masters, a base for your stories, a place to start building your own house rules and variants. It has brought joy to my tabletop, and I hope it brings joy to yours. This is the first time I've seen an introduction like this, that it gave me an idea of why is this person writing this book? What was their purpose? And I thought that was just a nice touch for one of the writers here to just write this introduction to me to let me know, here's what I had in mind, here's what I was trying to accomplish, here's what the driving force behind the decision to go through all this work to write this and make it available to you. I started kind of flipping through the book, and right after the introduction letter, it goes straight into character creation. It didn't tell me anything about the world. I don't know anything about anything at this point. I just know that it kind of looks like fantasy. And then all of a sudden it's like, you start choosing your race. I looked ahead, and it really doesn't look like there is any information about the world that this all takes place in. I did find a website that is associated with it through RPG.com. Let me show this to you real quick. It says this 8-level system was created for the Dark Return, but it can be used in almost any fantasy setting. So I clicked on this Dark Return website. This is that website, and it's really short. And it talks about in the ages of past that there were magical creatures and magic was everywhere, but it all changed. A war took place and basically killed off all the magical people and magical beasts and all this type of things. But here in the last 20 years or so, babies are being born with magic capabilities again. And elves started to come out of their hiding places and interact with humans, and dwarfs began to trade again. It says, now whispers of growing dark powers, heroes, and a new dawn have begun to creep into this rain-soaked and gray world. Here I hope to chronicle the events as this new age enters the world. Let's click on Encyclopedia and see what's in there. Oh, and here's some more stuff though. There's the lands, the peoples. Okay, well, maybe there's some more information here. So if you go to darkreturn.com, because in the book itself, they did not have a whole lot. Like I said, my first impressions just flipping through the book and looking through the website a little bit is I was just a little bit bummed that there wasn't any story in the book. I had to search around to find anything at all, and I found it on this kind of a Dark Return website, just happened to be linked on DriveThruRPG. So I'm going through these RPGs the last month or so. There's basically two things that I'm finding super interesting for me when I've been browsing through everything. It's mechanic systems and the worlds. As long as I'm learning about either of those two subjects, I feel like I'm achieving what I set out to do. And I think this SagaBorn so far, if nothing else, is going to teach me about these new mechanics that are supposedly easy to play. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to be going over the character creation system. I'll give you guys a little bit deeper dive into it, but I just want to kind of give you a quick run through, let you see some of the cool stuff in here. Like I said, the artwork is pretty neat. Anyway, that's it for me tonight. We'll see you all later. Bye.